Hello, everyone. School S Intuitive. Thanks so much for tuning in. I appreciate you. Let's go ahead and get started. We're going to use a variety of tarot and oracle cards. I'll share channeled messages as I receive them. Let's see what we have. Oh, we have home. Your home tells you a story or tells your story. It's the foundation of your life, so bless your home to bring more peace, love, and light. This is going to be for the week ahead. Week of the, let's see, what are we, the 26th to February 1st? Yeah. Oh, wow. Believe that. Okay. Maybe you're doing some, fixing things around the house or decluttering. Great time of year for it. What else do we have? It's going to be for Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, North Node, any placement. Everyone's welcome, though. We have fertility here, collaborate, and connection. So there's a project maybe that you're thinking of doing. Yeah, it's a great time for any sort of things like that. Any sort of projects, any sort of even I'm getting even something about like if you're needing to move things around, reorganizing, restructuring things, maybe you're going to get some help doing that. So keep an open heart and mind, collaborate with people. Not everything has to be a solo act. I know sometimes we tend to do things on our own, but it doesn't have to be that way for some. Okay. So perfect time to start that new project, fall in love, change jobs, give birth to a new abundant life. And then you have connection here. So you do have some sort of powerful connection coming in. You could also be feeling more connected spiritually in some way. So this is about seeing or sensing an energetic connection with someone and trusting it, knowing that their company is going to bring some blessings. I love seeing that when it comes to, home, fertility, collaboration, connection. It's like if I were doing somebody's reading and they just, had 5 minutes, well, this looks really good if you're wanting to work from home or if you're wanting to do something for your home or if you're wanting to do something career-wise. This looks really good. Yeah, looks great. Well, let's see what else we have, though. We're going to go much deeper than that, right? All right. Let's use the Light Seers Tarot by Chrisanne. Personal favorite of many people, I know. One of my personal favorites. That's why I don't overuse it here. I feel like, I don't know. I tend to use decks by like small individual publishers. Anyway, we have King of Pentacles here. So King of Pentacles, maybe there's some sort of money concern or money management thing going on because I was hearing money management. But this is someone who's abundant. They're a solid leader, wise investor. This is someone who, by the way, they're not having to, if you're wondering if you need to go on your own with something, the King of Pentacles, the fact they have that dog there, okay, because the dogs in tarot, they have part of it is, they're not, you don't have to do something alone, right? That companionship there. So, in the fact that you have that with collaborate, that's really good. That's like, it makes me think that if it comes to something you're trying to bring into the physical world, because it's the King of Pentacles, you're trying to bring something into reality, it feels like it's a very fertile time, particularly if you're willing to collaborate with others. So there could be really some powerful connections coming in. It does feel like a really good week for those new starts, new connections, leading to long-term growth or goals being met. It's like you're meeting goals. You could making connections in how to meet a goal even. So it could be like you're putting pieces together. It can also be that you have a connection with a person that you're just going to be able to grow. You're going to be able to grow together. Oh my goodness. And you know what I love too? Say it's a love situation or really a career, anything really, they're not going to try to change you. Now, how cool is that, right? Isn't that like ideal? That's like what we all want. We get this reading or this card basically every reading, Queen of Wands. Nothing stops her. She's herself. She's comfortable in her skin. She's not afraid to wear bold colors. She's not afraid to speak up, right? She is not afraid. She is herself. She makes choices that are, good for her. And she has a lot of fertility in her life. She has a lot of, she attracts opportunities. And so this is like being an attractor of good opportunities, of new love, of nice opportunity, jobs, of finding a solution to something going on in the home, even just more abundance in general. And I love the King of Pentacles with the Queen of Wands. Again, they don't try to change each other. It's like having this like nice respect for one another and their differences. Look at that. Like he's kind of, he's sitting back and, and she's like, well, what's cool? They both have their animals. So maybe there's something going on there with you. This is randomly specific, but maybe you're actually thinking of moving in with someone, for example, and you each have pets and you're wondering how they're going to get along. So anyway, let's see what else we have for the Libra Collective. Personal readings are still open, schoolhouseintuitive.com. Whoa. And second channel is Mantic Mystic, and that's where I read for all signs. Okay. Here we go. And you have the Fool card. This is really, really positive so far. Loving the energy of this. Love it. I'm hearing right now, should I stay or should I go? Well, we'll get to that, but yeah, we'll get to that because it's kind of like yes, comma, when you're more clear. For some of you, you need more time to possibly even tune into nature. Okay, to tune into nature in order to know if something's feeling right for you, if it's right for you. Not a message I generally will get from that card, but it does feel like you're tuning into potentially even water energy or some new way of reading energy yourselves. And it could involve nature. Maybe you're using crystals or you're scrying in some way or something. There's something here. Kind of taking that leap too. Maybe you're a card reader. You're going to read cards too. That's coming in. You could start small out of the house, with whatever project this is, yeah. What else? Oh my goodness. And you have the Strength card. You have the Fool card and you have the Strength card. I didn't even really talk about the Fool card much. Okay. So this is about having, it's kind of, this energy I'm getting is forget about all the hardships, all the things that have happened in previous relationships, jobs, etc. Don't carry that forward into this new start. I am feeling that off all these cards. You don't want to be blocking your own abundance, fertility. With the Fool card here, it's that new beginning. It's the spontaneity, right? It's the optimism too. And so it's having optimism that you're always going to be cared for. You're always going to be provided for. It will work out. Things are working out. This Strength card here, they don't even have to be. I mean, you can see this person is actually not just taming a lion. They're part lion. They're really in there. It's like, it's not just, it's funny, it's under the connection card because the Strength card typically has that woman with her hand in the lion's mouth. And you have this connection here. And some of you, again, I feel like there's a big connection to animals, to nature. Something's going on here. But this is an energy of courage, of power, of doing things in a way that's respectful to yourself and others. What else do we have? It's a high energy, like really having holding yourself in high regard. A lot of integrity is what's that's kind of the vibe I'm getting. Holding your head up, with integrity. Increase that confidence too. Maybe working with a group or for a group or in front of a group is actually going to boost your confidence, even though it could be scary at first. It's definitely connecting to money though. We have an Emperor on the floor with death and rebirth. All right. So they came out though in the reverse. Okay. So you have two big cards here in tarot and they're in the reverse. Nothing you get upset about when something's in the reverse, but it does feel like not closing a door or not making decisions for yourself or even greed is affecting someone's ability to have that rebirth. Or not closing the door completely on something. And this really does feel like it's kind of like it's not a time to be a follower. Okay, now's the time to lead. I am feeling that strongly. You could resonate with the number 9 too. All right, what else do we have? Wait a minute. So I feel off these cards too. Why is somebody not doing something? There's more to this story with a lot of you, okay? You could be wondering about how something is going to affect your own stability, if it's going to be enough. Some of you, it's like, yeah, I'm getting kind of wanting to make that side hustle your main job. But one thing I'm hearing right now from my guides is stop calling it your side hustle. Like, words are very powerful. It's not your side hustle. It's your passion. It's your gift. And that's how we should refer to it. Whoa. Very clear. Okay. There's something here about it's like we're not seeing something accurately, or we're not labeling it as something. Kind of like how you could call this death card, or you could call it rebirth, right? It's all about perspective, right? Okay, what else do we have? I mean, death card in reverse too, that's resistant change, right? That could be stagnation, a lack of acceptance. It can also be, when it's with that Emperor card, it's like not wanting to have to lead. You know, like be almost again, not stepping into your leadership abilities. It's really not, it's like you coming up with a new strategy is what's going to help here. Okay, what else? Oh my goodness, you have the Magician. Remember I said, words being powerful. They're like magic spells, right? So making sure you're being very mindful here, and making sure you're realizing you have a lot of resources. Now you have both cards that have the infinity symbol. You have, well, two of the cards that have the infinity symbol. You have the magician and the strength card. And so think about what the infinity symbol means. Eternity, infinite possibilities. For some of you, I do feel like you're feeling like there's no end to the stagnation. I do feel that. I'm getting that off of this. But there's something here about, have you really focused, though, on, have you tried everything? There's something, it's going back to the Emperor and the death. It's like, have you really tried everything to make it work? I don't know if you have. I mean, what I'm getting right now is it's like you've given up before you've tried everything. So, only take what resonates, leave the rest, right? That's just, I'm going to report what I get, though. And it's not always peaches and cream, So Magician, though, they have all those aces right there. They have all those resources. They do need to focus, though, and they need to use their talents and really bring something. They will it into existence, like that Queen of Wands, the King of Pentacles, the Fool card, the Strength card. They're all doing that. They're all doing that in their own way. They're making it happen. They're using the power. They're using their passion. They're using all the resources they have. They're doing everything they could possibly think of. Try a new doctor, some of you. That's what I heard. So if you're wondering, if you've really tried everything and you're thinking, geez, I might need a new set of professionals to help me with this, or a new doctor or whatever. If you're feeling that in your own intuition, you should follow that, right? If you're feeling like somebody, even though they're an expert, you're not feeling like it's lining up with you in some way, it's just not in alignment, or you're feeling something different, and you feel like, oh, I should get a new doctor, then maybe that is the message for you. Maybe it was meant specifically for you. So some of these messages, I say, they're so specific, they're only going to pertain to like one person, and then to other times it'll pertain to 20, Okay, we have the 8 of Wands here. So, and I'm hearing right now, clairaudiently, no, this is not as good as it gets. Something can be better, and you know that. This is something here about almost like panicking or waiting because something was canceled. So just be mindful. This could, travel could be affected this week. This could be, wanting to really move forward and make a fast decision, but then needing to kind of halt, kind of needing to slow down, because it could be a blessing, though, that happens, right? Those detours sometimes are divine blessings in disguise. I should write that down. That's really good. The detour is a divine blessing in disguise. Okay. All right. Whoa. It could just be, you have something else that needs your attention too. Okay. What else do we have? So we have, 5 of Pentacles. Oh, wow. Okay. Then the Lovers, then the Empress, and then the 6 of Wands. Really? My. So feeling kind of shut out. feeling as though something is just not going your way, not feeling as though you've had the right opportunity. Again, it's like it's energy. Maybe you felt you were feeling good about something or someone, and then I get it kind of like screeching halt. But what if there's something better coming in? We have the Lovers card here. What if there's something here where it's an even better choice? It'd be an even better partnership. It would be something that you could fully trust, something way more harmonious, something that really means something. And we have the Empress. Because for some of you, it's not just about creating, it has to mean something. The work you do, it's not busy work, it has to mean something. That's why we don't want to call our passions, our gifts, our talents, our skills side hustles. None of that is positive in my opinion, right? So I'm getting that message loud and clear from my guides, from source. We can't refer to, our true loves as side hustles. What it is that gives you joy, that really gives you life, where you feel you really are creating, where you feel most abundant, where you feel most in love with the life you have. Empress card, beautiful card. And so many opportunities with the Empress on top of the Fool card. That is like as many fresh starts as you need. And there's success and victory. Now, being in that spotlight, some people really look up to you for your strength. You have a certain personal magnetism about you. It's easy for people to connect with you. Maybe you hear all the time that you're an old soul. You can easily, you can tune in, you can perspective take easily. Libras are notorious, whether it's your sun, moon, rising, Venus, doesn't matter. We're really good at seeing people's gifts, seeing people's strengths, weighing all options, right? We're good at assessing things, at analyzing, because we know fairness is important to us. And how something comes to be is just as important as what the ultimate decision is. That's why sometimes we take so long to decide, because we really want to do what's best for everyone. Sometimes you need to do what's best for you. And sometimes that'll be what's best for the group. Isn't it great when that all works out and lines up? You have the Hierophant. There's that higher wisdom. Committing to. This is also you sharing that wisdom. You're sharing something you do that's special. You're opening up to spirit, to some of you, you're even opening up to your own, like your ability to read tarot. I know I'm strongly picking up on somebody deciding they're going to go for it with that. But I was also getting music stuff too. So, but it feels kind of like that kind of pertains to, don't refer to it as, a side hustle, like when it's your music or your art in some way. And I look at tarot as an art. It's a divination art. And so if you have a skill or a knack for that, or ability for that, or whatever it is, it doesn't have to be tarot, it could be anything. Realizing that too, even though it's not as like mainstream, widely accepted, or even understood, doesn't make it less valuable than anybody else's gifts. Let it, live by your own spiritual truth. So a detour being a divine blessing. Okay. And we have the Knight of Wands here. Look at that. Their passion, it truly makes them happy. And what are they doing? They're beating their drum. They're making music. So we have the Knight of Wands and we have the Queen of Wands. You'll notice in this card, this looks like a woman here, the Knight of Wands, which is cool because generally the knights are not women. So I love it when creators change it up. There's something here about reciprocity too, and like something being not in agreement or in alignment. There's been too much stop and go energy too with a particular situation or a person. It's like, gee, should I even bother anymore? But you do have this like time to shine success here, the Six of Wands. There's good news here. There's triumph, there's leadership. Been feeling leadership throughout the reading. And you know, there's another focus here about, and it's coming in again, how I said those King of Pentacles and the Queen of Wands, they really like appreciate each other. They work well together, actually. At least in this deck, they're driving well over here on the table. Yeah. Anyway, it's yeah, having an appreciation for what everybody brings to the table, and that no one thing is better than anything else. That ties into that collaboration piece. But have you really looked at something from all angles? Have you really tried everything? And some of you are like, yes, you know, I know. I get it. It's just a question. Okay. All right. Three of Pentacles there. There's a card of like, you know, how are we going to get this to work? And how everybody has a different perspective. They all have a different thing that they're working on, but they're all generally working on the same thing. But you can't just give and give. You have to receive too. And there's something here about reciprocity. It just keeps coming up. Three of Pentacles coming in under collaboration. So collaborating could lead to more fertility and abundance for you. Mm-hmm. And you know, for some of you, you don't have to, if you're not comfortable letting somebody in on your plans, or you don't want to give them like all the details of something, if you're planning on partnering up with someone, or say you made a new friend and you don't want them in your house yet, that's fine, you know? Or say you, you know, you want to, again, just say, for example, you wanted to read cards or something yourself. You don't have to do it out of your house. You also don't have to rent an office. Get creative. There are ways. Sometimes you can partner with, you know, a hairdresser or a massage therapist or somebody who's only there in their space part-time, and you can share it the rest of the time, even if you just start out a day a week. Or, you know, ask the local cafe if you can, you know, give them a percentage and you come in once a week and you read for whoever's there, you know, or the local crystal shop or whatever it is, you know. I'm just saying, they want us to be creative. Have we really thought of everything? Okay, so now we have the Seven of Wands. This is persevering. Okay, maintaining control. This is not compromising. We don't want to compromise our dreams because we haven't quite figured out how to do it yet. We want to keep going. Start small. We have the Hermit here, and that's in the reverse. And some of you, one reason we haven't had that breakthrough yet is it feels as though you may actually need to step away and reclaim your power and your energy and get centered. You might not be able to get that inner guidance if you don't actually have that time to go within. Or what's happening is you're getting those intuitive hits, the intuitive intel, but you're not necessarily trusting it or believing it, or you still maybe have some old conditioning that's telling you that can't possibly be true. You can't possibly be psychic, or you can't do this thing for a living. That's not a real career. You know, so I'm just kind of getting messages like that. But this is your life. You know, this isn't anybody else's life. It's your life. Yeah, they might have some effect, or they might be affected in some way, but we each have our own life. You know? Oh, and I know people say it all the time, and I've said it so many times in this channel. Stop dimming your light just to please other people. They don't have to understand. And you don't have to keep explaining to people to get them to understand. Some people will never understand what it is you do, what you're about, your message. It's just not going to come. They're just not going to get it. 10 of Cups. But when you're around the right people, and it's just going to feel right, you're going to know. Mm-hmm. But I get some of you are like, yeah, but I keep getting served the same slop. Wow. Yeah, that's, you know. tuning into this, we have the kids here playing at the beach, and we've got this rainbow ribbon thing here, and people are enjoying each other's company. And sometimes it's the simplest things that bring the most joy. Just sitting and being able to enjoy watching the kids play, or I just heard someone say, or watching the Giants play. What? Okay. Okay. Great. So maybe you want to watch the game with them. Okay. That's fine too. But just, having that contentment, and that's just knowing that you're loved and seen and valued for who you are, for how you are. If you're finding yourself in constant power struggles and people aren't able to respect differences, and you've been holding the peace and or avoiding conflict to hold the peace, I'm here to tell you, as your messenger today, that's got to stop. You should not be sacrificing yourself just to keep the peace. What else do we have? What else do we have? Are you open to receiving, though? Are you open to collaborating? Something about kind of this back and forth, like open, then close. The open, I'm getting this sort of, it makes sense. I'm reading for a lot of different energies, right? A lot of different people, but I'm seeing in these cards, and that's what I go by. There's open, there's closed. There's open, there's closed. So like, even look, we've got closed in a way, in a bit, okay? Open, okay? That's what I'm seeing. I've got this person not really hugging the other person back. This one's open. Got closed and open here. Closed, open. But they're not, neither one is better than the other. We need to go within and then express, right? It's kind of like there has to be that balance. There has to be both. Because like the Hierophant and the Hermit, for example, there are big differences between them. They're both having to do with spiritual wisdom and going within, maybe, or just spiritual wisdom guidance. But this is like external, right? The Hierophant would be teaching others, maybe, or going outside of yourself to get answers. Whereas the Hermit, that's same but different, right? So very interesting. I did not expect this. It's kind of like, I never know what to expect with these, but it's the same but different is what's coming through. It's like, it's same but different. Or, even just how we're naming things. We need to rename some things. We need to relabel some things. Changing our perspective, but also taking action. And that is so funny because the card then flipped. But here's the thing. There could be more to the story to do or to know before you get started, or before you take the next step with a person. We don't want to be rushing in. If someone's trying to push you into something, chances are it's benefiting them more than it's benefiting you. And I'm totally getting Six of Pentacles vibes. Like, we have to be receiving too. You can't just give. All right. So Page of Pentacles, Page of Swords in reverse. Ooh, they're like tiptoeing. See that? Over the edge here, tiptoeing. But this is like, when we have the Page of Swords in reverse, this can be someone who's all talk. They're not very serious, right? But I feel like, you're wanting to be taken seriously, and maybe you're getting ready behind the scenes, or you're practicing something here. Or some of you may wonder why you went to school for one thing and now you don't even use it. You're wondering maybe if it was a good idea to put all your time and invest yourself into a certain thing, because it's not necessarily paying in some way. Relationships or job stuff, it could be anything. Oh my, yeah, it's It's upsetting. This can definitely have to do with love, but it's some kind of loss, heartbreak. There's the pain of it. It's like wanting to just scream. And maybe some of you, that's what you need to do. You need to just let it out. We can't always hold everything in and keep it to ourselves. Sometimes we do need to let it out. I don't know if it's, if you need to work with a professional or talk to a friend or talk to your dog. That's what I do. Well, I do all of those actually. I do the whole list I just mentioned. But yeah, like, get me out of this stagnation. Get me out of this, whatever this is. Page of Pentacles. You want to be on solid ground again, maybe too, or just even knowing what that next step is, right? There's hard work here. There's making some sort of commitment, even if it's small. Make the commitment. Being flexible too. We don't want to be causing resistance to receiving our abundance because we're only wanting it a certain way. It's like if you go to a restaurant and you place an order, you have so many choices, right? The menu, but how it comes to your table, you don't get to choose who your server is generally, right? You don't get to choose who's cooking up the meal for it, right? You get so many options, and so you can only control so much, and then you have to leave it up to the universe, to God, whatever language is comfortable for you. But you have to leave it up to the divine spirit. To some degree. You know me though, I'm always about, we have to be positioning ourselves properly. We have to be taking actions. It's not enough to just write out our manifestations. I don't know where people got that, but I know a lot of people who still, they write out their manifestations and they expect it to just be delivered on a platter, exactly how they asked for it, because they were so specific, as we're told to be, very specific. But I feel like some of you are learning new ways because you're realizing that's not enough. Like what you've been doing isn't quite getting you there, whether it's how you manifest or, if you've worked alone, now you're like, gee, maybe I should bring someone else on board, or vice versa, right? Or, you're realizing there's more to know, there's more to consider, maybe. Maybe you've been just kind of going about something in a way that's just it's not as abundant as you'd want, as fertile as you'd want it to be. Or you haven't made that great connection with somebody yet, So again, you can put yourself out there, right? How and when they're delivered isn't really up to us necessarily. That's the part, those are the kind of things we can't control. We can respond, we can control how we respond to things. We can control how we set up the environment so that it's more conducive to, attracting what it is we want. But we have to take actual steps. You can't just, things aren't going to be delivered to the couch necessarily. Sometimes yes, but a lot of the times no. We have to actually take the steps. And I'm not here to, sorry if it's sounding kind of lectury. I'm not trying to be like that. And there's the Tower. Here's the thing. When we don't take action, the Tower comes in. It says, oh, you didn't make those changes. You resisted change, possibly. Trying to avert disaster. Trying to keep that peace. But in it comes. Here comes that sudden change. Here comes that upheaval. It doesn't have to be big. People see the Tower and they go, oh my gosh. Yeah, because here's the thing. If we weren't taking control, it's like, an Emperor in reverse and the Rebirth card in reverse. We're not taking control, and we're not making the changes we need in order to transform something that maybe we really want to transform, but we're not actually doing it. Well, here comes the Tower. And it's not punishment. It's at some point that energy has to be released. That change has to happen. And sometimes it's going to just come in when we feel like, oh, we're not ready, but maybe we are ready, and we've just been scared. We've been too upset over a past loss, or we've just been blocked in some way, or we've been beating ourselves up saying, hey, how come I can't get this to work? How come I can't get this to, You know, I've been trying, and should I just give up? You know, so much to this. With the Tower, as I said, it doesn't have to be huge, major, but it's usually a surprise. It doesn't have to directly involve you either, right? It doesn't have to directly involve you. It could be, you know, you find out a global thing happens, or it could be, you know, somebody who you know experiences a Tower and they can't meet with you because they had a Tower incident and, you know, canceled your appointment or something. You know, it could be a lot of different things. So but there could be some sort of just sudden turbulence, you know. It's that, you know what it is? It's that something's got to give. If there's been resistance, there's that destruction for awakening. Okay. Yeah. It's divine intervention is what it is. Yeah. What else do we have? If you enjoy this reading, thanks for liking the video, hyping, subscribing, leaving a comment. I appreciate all of it. Most of the viewers of the channel have not subscribed. So anyway, that would be great if people would, because then you get notifications, you know when videos come out. You know, it's good. Thanks. And we have the 8 of Cups. And so after the Tower, now we're walking away. You know, you could get some sort of surprise, and you're like, now I'm going to go in this other direction. Because what I thought was one way, it's not. It's not there anymore. You know, it's that feeling's no longer there. But they're heading into that glorious sunrise, actually. Yeah. And it's all okay. It's okay. That's what I'm hearing right now. And it's all okay. Some of you are having a change of heart. For some of you, you're the ones bringing the Tower. For some of you, that's the other thing with the Tower, is it's not necessarily something that's necessarily like imposed upon you. It can also be you deciding, you know what? I'm done. I'm over this. I'm leaving. You know, like a surprise. I'm out. Yeah, because when I see, especially when I see the 8 of Cups follow the Tower. Like a tower of personal power. That's what it could be. All right. Temperance. Oh my, okay. Temperance. And I saw that, I looked. Justice. Temperance and justice. Oh my. Yeah, okay. So, where do we start? Oh my. So, okay, definitely picking up on perspective. All right. So there's like a perspective shift that's needed here. Somebody too, I feel like they've been stuck in their ways, whether it's you or someone else. I'm not here to comment. Okay. But it does feel like when I have temperance and justice, sometimes with temperance we're being reminded, you know, consider that middle path, right? Consider that there's another way. Like I said, have you really considered everything? So there's balancing of opposite energies. So there's that message again, right? So we have the moon and the sun. You just had the moon and the sun. I'm going to remind you, we're starting to feel that energy of eclipse season. Our first eclipse is going to be February 17th. And so, you know, some of you are already feeling that. But there's the illumination and enlightenment of the sun here, balancing it out with the moon. Well, there's illumination here, and then the moon could bring enlightenment, which so can the Tower. So, Yeah, there's new understanding coming in. It could be, yeah, just there's like fluidity to this card too. The way that, look at the energies now, they're swirling. You see that in this deck a lot, actually. Like we had it even in the 10 of Cups, the fluidity. Yeah, this is really making the most out of different situations, different energies, and getting them to work together. That's been a theme throughout this reading. And then you have Justice. And that's our card, Libra, right? So a Justice, obviously we have the scales. So we have another card of, duality, different sides, different perspectives, different viewpoints. There may be a need to reflect too, because here's their reflection, right? Okay. So self-reflection or examining something with total honesty, or figuring out what are your real motivations for doing something, right? Maybe some of us don't know, but it's about balancing the light and the dark too. Yeah, because you can see, look, there's dark here and there's light here. There's light on one side and dark on the other. That's where I was getting at. It's just like with the Temperance card. There's the dark and there's the light, right? Weighing the actions. Some sort of accountability happening here. Holding yourself in high regard, right? Acting with integrity. Something here about, we have the sword, right? Sword of justice here. That's the sort of clarity of truth. You're able to see things better. And maybe because you needed the tower to come in, or maybe you didn't, I don't know. But this is about not just questioning everything around you, but also turning that light inward a bit. And that's why I feel it's a message for us, because we have that Hermit card in reverse. When the Hermit's in reverse, it's like we're not turning that light inwardly enough, maybe. Perhaps. All right, let's get those are big cards. Okay, anything else for that? Oh my gosh, here's the Hanged Man. Perspective change, okay? Perspective change, shift, right? Letting go, surrendering. We got to surrender to the tower, I guess. Surrender to the fact that we have so much control, and then poof, we don't. Some degree of acceptance. But that doesn't mean you have to hang around and wait, to live your life. So many big cards. So you have 11, 12, 13, 14. 11, 12, 13, 14. Maybe that means something, but I'm noticing of the major arcana, you have several, but you also have some that are consecutive. And I always pay attention to those. All right. Let's see. How do we stay high vibing? Whoa. Okay. There's too many cards. Too many. I'm already making this reading a little longer than I was going to. Still too many. No, I'll take them. Because that happened twice. Okay. Oh, so we have a new focus and we have no news. So a new focus, if you're unhappy in your job or in your relationship or with your body, find something about the situation that does make you happy. For example, we've had this. I like the filtered water at work, or, it makes me happy when my partner takes out the trash. So when you focus on things like that, you change your body's response. Okay. I'm not going to read it word for word. It's just, again, it's getting a new perspective. That's it. It's a new focus, a new perspective. Hanged Man, hello. You have no news here. No news. So stop listening to the news. You're going to hear about what's going on in the world anyway. You might be hearing about a big tower moment, or maybe it already happened. I'm doing this reading a week in advance, so maybe something already happened. I don't know. But yeah, turn off the news for a day and see if it changes your energy. Pretty sure it will. Love-wise, relationships, pursuit. So this is being persistent. So when the heart is certain of its desire, giving up is never an option. There you go. As I said, consider other ways. Don't give up, though. Don't give up on your dreams. I already said that. Love when the cards confirm. And for your abundance card, okay, you have out of work coming in, and this is facing a significant setback in some way, leaving you with like little to no income. So while you're in a tough spot, use the time to reset your priorities and prepare, because you're going to bounce back. You're going to bounce back, particularly if you're spending this reset time helping others. I'm feeling that strongly. If you're helping others in some way, you're bringing in the abundance for yourself. That's not why we do things, but I'm feeling that with this energy right now. Some of you may be doing something nice for others. You know, like even if it's, you know, they're not feeling great or something, and you pick a couple of wildflowers and you stop by with a little note, or you leave it in their mailbox. Well, but not if it's too hot out or cold. But anyway, okay. Crystal card of the week, you have Golden Healer Quartz. Open the door. Open the door to all these possibilities. Open the door to the fact that the detour was a divine blessing, right? A blessing in disguise. That keeps coming in. Now, could it have happened another way? Okay, the planets are aligning. The impossible will become possible. Like, did something unfold the way it really was supposed to, but we don't see it yet, right? We don't always see why things happen the way they did, especially right away. I'm getting March 17th. I know that's St. Patrick's Day here, but you have stargazing, look above and connect to the light of the universe, let it replenish your soul. This was in the wrong deck, so maybe that's something some of you need to know. And we have 1515. There's the faith. So make the necessary changes to achieve your dreams. Kind of repeating what I've said, right? We have to take those steps. And what else do we have? I'm actually hearing a name right now. It's Benny, or Benny Boy. Benny Boy, Benny. Okay. Or actually, too, this could pertain to someone's dog who's in spirit. Okay. You may have a dog in spirit and you're wondering if they're okay. I'm getting like, I'm okay. Like, it's okay. I'm getting like, I'm still a good boy, like everything's good still. So, all right. Card 17, rabbit, awareness, sacral chakra. Okay. So awareness, noticing what's happening within and around you. This is hidden gifts and hidden opportunities revealing themselves as you slow down and listen. There it is again, friends. I appreciate you so much. Thanks for being here. Wishing you a fabulous week.